Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Deciding Factor Extra. I'm John. Along with me, I've got Barb. And then down below, Barb, can you tell us who's joining us?
Today we have Jonathan Sr. all the way from across the ocean in the UK, and he's going to teach us how to fake being British.
Fake being British?
Yeah. Okay. That's really what it's all about. It's just perception, is if we can make someone think that we belong there.
Yeah.
Now, y'all have actually had some run-ins with each other. Can you explain how you know each other?
We can't just run. Well, I've lost on his show a few times. Jonathan Sr. runs a fantastic show called Funk Quest, which is like the best form of a quiz show that you've ever encountered, because it's all stuff that, in theory, you know about yourself. You don't actually have to know much about anyone else. So yes, I've been a contestant on Funk Quest. He runs a great show.
So what you're saying is you've lost on that show, and now we get to destroy him on this show because he might actually lose something, and it's probably going to be listeners. But, hey.
Who cares? Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome to our version of your Funk Quest, right?
Yeah. You're looking for interesting things, what people didn't know before they listened to the show, right?
Yep.
That's what we want. That's
I'm sure we're going to find it somehow, right?
Yeah, we will. So,
all right, guys. Y'all stay tuned. This is the Deciding Factor Extra.
Bringing you their thoughts on today's news and current events. Coming to you from Austin, Texas. This is the Deciding Factor Extra. With your hosts, Alton Hill and John Herzog.
All right, guys, welcome back. So, Barb, tell us what this segment is, how it works, and why we have someone from across the pond.
Well, I'll answer the last one first. He has a better accent than we do, you or I. I mean, that's pretty obvious. No, so we've had this conversation being on Funk Quest a couple times here, and I really enjoy that two British people can talk, and even though we both speak English, they're speaking their own language. And so I've asked Jonathan to come on here today to teach us some of the, I don't know, peculiarity is the word, but it was something specific to his part of the UK, and to teach us how to, if I'm going to go visit and I want to sit in a pub and not have everyone know that I'm from Washington State, right? I'd like to learn that. So whereabouts in the UK are you from?
I'm from Sheffield, which is, as you know, Bob, the cultural and geometric centre of the universe. Sheffield is in South Yorkshire, North Midlands. We're about 180, 200 miles from London. Some famous Sheffields include Jessica Ennis, the athlete, the rock group Def Leppard, the Human League, ex-England cricket captain Michael Vaughan. And you're probably the only woman that I know that hasn't been to Meadowhall Shopping Centre.
Oh,
huge, great big shopping centre. And what I realised about when I was putting my show together, I realised that I'd got almost like a God-given inbuilt advantage, because the South Yorkshire, North Midlands accent is perceived as very friendly. There's loads of contact centres around us, banks, breakdown companies, that type of thing. Now, I had this conversation with a colleague of yours, Phil, and he said, he agreed that you wouldn't want to ring certain parts of the UK to report a stolen phone, because they'd probably most likely know the people what had nicked it.
Well, let me go back.
Yeah, John looks all confused.
No. I'm lost. You said that yours is the friendly accent. So there's actually English accents that sound really, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Liverpool accent. Now, I don't do kind of other accents, but the Liverpool accent. All right, mate. How you doing, mate? One of them kind of thing. How you doing, mate? They probably know. And there's lots of comedians that British people know, like Harry Enfield, that have done characters based on, the whole Scouse accent, the whole Liverpool accent. And I realised, like I said, that it's South Yorkshire accent is perceived as very friendly. So I thought, go with what you know, right? And I don't realise that till you talk to other people around the country, around the world. And I do tone it down quite a bit, kind of online. But if my brother-in-law was to come around talking about football or something went wrong with his car, you'd probably struggle a bit. Shall I give you an example?
Yeah, I really want to hear this, because
right. So,
well, first you got to explain the football, because we have a
soccer. Yeah, so two Sheffield teams.
Yeah,
two Sheffield teams, Wednesday and United, both typically don't do very well. Although United are doing better than Wednesday at the moment, which is the first clue, because we drop the, right? So we say, John's having a drink of coffee, put kettle on, John, there's a good chap. We would drop the and make it almost like T apostrophe.
I understood chap, and that was it.
Are you serious? No, he's
No.
instead of put on the kettle.
He said, put kettle on,
Put
get on bus, get on train. How do you get? I got here on train. There used to be an advert for John Smith's beer. People of a certain age, John Smith's beer. How do you get here? On bus. That was in an advert, a local dialect advert. And so you probably wouldn't know what that is, but if we got talking about, that's number one. You would drop the t.
After the. Okay.
Drop the. Right?
You see, that's funny. I was gonna say you call it a t instead of a the also. So
I don't know
Johnson
what
can
it
also
is.
do-
There's a word for it. I'm sure there's a word for it. Like linguists might be able to chip in with what it is. The verbal shortening of a phrase.
So
yeah, go ahead.
in Texas, we always get made fun of for saying howdy. Unfortunately, it actually does kind of come natural. So, like if I'm walking through the grocery store and some people are looking or smiling, I just say howdy. But it's just so natural. You're so used to it. You don't say hi, you just howdy.
What I would say that is it doesn't come across. If I hear kids talking back on park, there's a bit of waste. Like it doesn't come across as all that intelligent sometimes. That may be the child, the kids, whatever. It doesn't come across as all that. I hear people. It doesn't sound all that although it's friendly, perceived as friendly.
There's probably a lesson in that we don't necessarily perceive intelligent people as the friendliest people.
True. So that's the first thing. So I don't know how far that extends from Sheffield, South Yorkshire.
Okay.
Right. So about 15 miles down from us is just about 2 miles down from us is Nottinghamshire, which is a different county. And the first town you get to is Mansfield. Right? I used to work with a lad from Mansfield, and they used to substitute words like Norrie. If somebody's on Norrie, what does that even mean? It means he's off work sick. He's on Norrie. I don't even know what that is, but that's in that short distance down the road.
We say he's sick. He's out.
He's off work sick. He's on Norrie. I wouldn't even say what that is. So, and then you go up that 30 miles up, which is Leeds. Boo. And they have a slightly different accent. And I once worked somewhere 100 miles down the motorway, and this person from Leeds and I knew we were different, but the locals down in Wolverhampton, they couldn't tell us apart, but we knew we were different.
So
Curious.
Yeah.
Curious. Yeah. There's a lot more flat vowels. All right, mate. I can't even do it. All right. I can't even do the Leeds Leeds and Bradford. I can't even do that accent.
Okay, I have to go back to the Aunt Nori though. So if I am if I'm say drinking in a pub in the morning and people are saying, why are you here drinking in the morning? I could say, oh, I'm at Aunt Lori.
I'm on Norrie. On the Norrie. On Norrie.
Yeah.
I'm on the Norrie. Okay. Obviously, you could in Mansfield, not round here, you couldn't, but you could in Mansfield.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So is it true y'all drink more tea than coffee or soda? Is it
I don't know what soda is, but you mean like fizzy pop?
Yes.
Fizzy pop. I just think they have better names for everything. I would much rather refer to it as fizzy pop than I would soda.
What would you soda? I mean, soda to us is carbonated water.
Yeah, that's what you put in gin, right?
Yeah. Tonic water. Yeah, but so you got lemonade, Coke, dandelion and burdock, stuff like that, right?
Dandelion
and burdock. It's like
I'm sorry. I'm enjoying watching Texas absorb this.
Dandelion and burdock is like probably don't have it anymore, but it's like a dark drink what you used to have as kids. And if anybody's listening who can remember taking the 5p back, you take the bottle back and you get money back. That is a real throwback. Recycling in the 1970s, I tell you.
We still had it in the 80s and 90s.
But it got to be too much trouble, didn't it? And the supermarkets took over on that. But what were we talking about before that? You were in a pub. Somebody said, I'm on Norrie. The Mansfield. They probably know what you meant. But around here, no idea.
No idea. Okay.
No.
So far, I'm screwed if I ever show up in England and want to act like him.
That's what I'm getting from this. Yeah, John needs to probably stay local.
What you'd realise is when you'd see people trying to do local accents on like TV, actors and actresses, they can't do. Like I said about the Leeds thing, people that are from Leeds that lady was from Leeds. We knew we were different, but the Wolverhampton people had no idea.
So do you make fun of American actors when they're trying to act British?
I always make fun of people like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins. All right, call by me, Gavin. He's all right, right? Because he's trying to be like a Cockney kind of person. Do we? No, but I've heard that South Yorkshire accent is difficult to do. Now, have you ever seen the film The Full Monty? About steelworkers.
No.
Full Monty was like 1998 type film about unemployed steelworkers. And one of the male leads, Scottish, Robert Carlyle, he said that it was very difficult. I mean, Scottish is an accent all to itself. He said it was very difficult to do the South Yorkshire accent. And at the end, on the credits, there's about 6 voice coaches.
Wow.
For the accent, because they were trying to talk like steelworkers.
Trying
to. They were trying to talk like steelworkers. You get that? You missed that, didn't you? They're trying to talk like steelworkers.
Now,
I was
Barb,
trying to convince John that he needed to watch the newest version of Jane Eyre recently. Okay, which he doesn't take my movie suggestions very well.
Wait. Isn't Full Monty the strip
Yeah.
show?
Yeah, about unemployed steelworkers that do the strip off at the end. I could take there's a campaign where I did the final scene, Upperthorpe Working Men's Club. There was a campaign to keep that open as a listed building type of thing, because it was going. Obviously, nobody goes to those places anymore because these don't.
If we don't go to restaurants, we don't go to.
Well, no, I know. I mean, generally in the last 5 years, that Upperthorpe Working Men's Club, which is an actual working men's club. A big campaign to keep it open as a local cultural site. So when people like you come over, you can plan and drink warm beer But yeah, you're right. Steelworkers.
Get suckered into it. That's really funny.
So what's interesting to me is, like, local Sheffield dialect is dying out. I can understand it, but I don't necessarily speak it. Right. So if I said to you, "Who were he with? Who were nobody? Who were we his sen?" which translates as "Who was he with? He was with nobody. He was by himself."
I got half that.
Who were he with? He were nobody. He was by himself. Himself being himself.
I feel like this language came about from a lot of drunk asses not being able to talk correctly and everyone just slurring their words. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Well, if you like the Full Monty, when the scene where he says
you really like this show.
Well, he's put Sheffield on the map. But the little lad goes to see his dad. He says, "Dad, we're going swimming." He says, "I can't." He says, "Why not?" He says, "Because I ain't got any trunks." Like one word. I ain't got any trunks.
So why is it dying out? It sounds like the most efficient dialect I've heard yet. I mean, you skip all the extra syllables you don't need.
Why is it dying out?
What do you think?
Internet news readers, all minority languages are dying out, aren't they?
Yeah.
Internet news readers, TV, what's homogenic? Is that you're not allowed to say that anymore, are you? The same.
Yeah, no, it's a real word. Even in British, I'm pretty sure it's a real word.
Yeah, the same, yeah. I mean, if I said to you, right, you're going to have a wesh, you wouldn't have a wash.
I would guess. But
you'd guess. We've got relatives.
Or bath.
Yeah, a bath, yeah. Going in shower, going in bath. That's what you'd say.
Because you dropped it there.
You dropped it there. We got relatives that say, "I'm going to have a wash. I'm going to wash my hands." Wash.
So I'm wondering, as a this will be my I feel like I could probably ask you for several hours, but I will tie it up here. How about this? I am wondering, as an actual English speaker, what is the most appalling thing to you about American English?
Apparently, howdy.
Well, that's Texas. We don't all.
This sounds like a FunQuest question. Could we borrow this for FunQuest?
Yeah, go for it.
Right, removed.
The things what irritate me about any kind of language is where there's certain words that I've replaced, and this is not necessarily American English, although it probably is. When people say like, basically, seriously, because they don't know what else to say. It's amazing. We had an amazing time. And what does that even mean?
What does it even mean? The one that kills me is literally.
Literally.
You know that it's been added now. What is the dictionary where it's the Urban Dictionary where they add words as they're being used today? Literally is now in there to mean not literally. There is literally not a word for literally anymore.
I mean, his foot literally fell off. Like, how else could it fall off? Like, figuratively.
Figuratively.
I mean, his foot figuratively fell off. They just, because people don't know what else to say, because all these words are just, people are just full of all this junk. They've got no other reason to say because I say and that just drives me nuts. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. And you just want to strangle people that say, basically, all I'm saying is, just say it. Say it. That's all I need you to do. Say it. However you want.
See, I always suspected that I was probably British somewhere along the line. Yeah, that makes total sense to me. I think it probably.
Yeah.
So I guess you don't want to come visit anytime soon.
I'll tell you something off mic.
Oh.
Okay. All right. But first, before we close off, I need you to explain John's telephone booth, because you were teaching us something before the show that I found fascinating, and this will be our sign off.
So, if you look at the top of a telephone box, obviously there's two types of crown: a king's crown and a queen's crown. If you look at chessboard, this you can see this quite clearly. So the one behind me is a king's crown because it goes up like that, and then the cross is on the top. But the one behind John, it goes up and then it kind of goes down, and the cross is in the bit that goes down. That's a queen's crown. If you look at any kind of stamps or money or anything like that with a queen's head on, it will have a queen's crown on. And they are different, and that's the so that was built after 1952 when the Queen, whatever the word is, became Queen, ascended.
Do they actually still work?
No, there are some that still work, and we're doing a stock take of red telephone boxes on funkythinkers.com. Some have got books, some have got defibrillators, some have got community information in, some are just vandalized. Some have got a thing that says we're going to decommission this in 2009, and it still works. So they've obviously not got around to going around. I said there,
yeah. So what you're saying is basically some of them work.
What I'm saying is, so yes, they've got community information in. They got potted plants, all kinds of different super interesting stuff. So we're doing a trip round them.
The defibrillator kind of cracks me up.
I still want to ask one question though, and that is, what words do y'all use over there that might come off really offensive in the U.S.?
You're trying to kill the rating on this show, John. Doggone it.
I once said fags to an American person. And
no.
I don't think you kind of take that to be the same meaning as what we mean. You say got any fags, which means cigarettes.
You might get shot over here, depending on where you're at.
That's why I want to tell you off mic.
Yeah, exactly. So tune in next time for the time we get kicked off the internet because John got Jonathan to swear. Okay.
Is
that the only one that stands out?
You got fags. I don't know. Words that we use that American people would find offensive,
or the other way around. That's what actually I think. Because I learned on when we did the Funk Quest with Phil Palucha, which everyone needs to go see, and you need to vote in the future. He had a whole long conversation of, see, now I'm hesitant to say it, but to us as Americans, we're like, is that a bad word? And you came back on the show, you're like, yes, stop saying that. That's not an okay.
I can't remember what it was. What words that?
I don't say it now on the air.
Words that are offensive it was fags is the obvious one.
Yeah.
So
John here is looking to be the opposite. I was thinking how could you fit in a pub in Sheffield, and John's like, how could I get kicked out of the country? What are my most offensive words I could say?
I don't know. We've got some pretty offensive people around at the moment, so I think you'd have to stand out pretty well to get kicked out. Get kicked out.
Literally kicked out, or just
arse. You would say ass. We would say arse, and arse is kind of it's quite offensive. You wouldn't say that you wouldn't say arse in your mum and dad are around and your parents-in-law. You wouldn't say arse.
Well, see, that's funny because here people will use the word arse like it's less offensive. See, I'm not really swearing. I'm using the British version. So
arse is legit. Like a bare bottom.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say that in mixed.
Do you still mean it as to being a donkey though?
An ass, yeah, but you probably say donkey. I mean, I'll just tell you something. When I remember, going to see my grandma, right, who's no longer with us, and I was in my teens and that. and my grandma was a real old kind of Sheffielder, right? And she'd been to the hospital, and my mum says to her, "Have you been to hospital?" She goes, "Yeah." And she says, "I want to change my tablets." I tell them to chuff off. I tell him to chuff off, meaning as in, do one kind of thing. And but you wouldn't say chuff. That's kind of like on the borderline of, I wouldn't be happy saying that. In mixed, if Barb and her husband came around to our house, I wouldn't say chuff, and I wouldn't expect you to pull a face if you said chuff.
Chuff or
Chuff. CHUFF.
And
that,
that means the F word over there?
Yeah, it's like he's a bit of a chuff. He's like awkward, he's difficult, and if you chuff off, you can, do that.
But isn't it if
peace?
You know where that comes from? Yeah, you know where that comes from? You know where that comes from?
No.
Apparently, when there was like all bows and arrows and swords type fighting before nuclear bombs, they used to put two fingers up to show that they'd still got two fingers, so they could still fire the arrow.
Huh. I've learned so much today. Okay, but
isn't it
according to Jeeves and Wooster in on the BBC version, if you're chuffed, you're really happy, right?
You would say that, but if you say somebody's a bit of a chuff,
okay,
which is also a species of bird, I understand. Oh. You wouldn't say, "Oh, I got chuffed off," but I just wouldn't. Maybe I'm a bit,
go there.
I just wouldn't be a bit fussy. Like I say, if you and your husband came around and you went out somewhere, I wouldn't say that in front of you and my wife.
Okay. No, that's good to know. Got that, John?
Got that? Write that down.
All of it.
Yeah, I learned a ton. Thank you very much, Jonathan, for coming on today.
You're welcome.
I had a great time.
Good.
All right, guys. This was the Deciding Factor Extra. That segment was called Say What, which we can thank Barb for. So if you don't like it, make sure you email her and let her know. Also, make sure you catch Barb on some of the Funk Quest shows, thanks to Jonathan, which I've got to tell you, that's kind of a goofy, funny show. So it stands out from the ordinary, and keep it up. And we're glad to have you on the show, and maybe we'll have you back to finish up this conversation, because it sounds like there's still a lot of stuff you can teach us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Definitely head over to funkythinkers.com and see what he's up to.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, guys, y'all stay tuned. Don't forget, this is not our normal podcast. That's the Deciding Factor podcast. And guys, we will see you next time. Everyone, say bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. See ya.
This has been another episode of the Deciding Factor Extra, giving you food for thought on real-life issues. Be sure to click, like, and subscribe to this podcast, as well as all your big social media outlets: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Don't forget to check out our website, thedecidingfactorpodcast.com, and give us comments and feedback. Until next time, stay safe and keep an open mind.